And, Barbuda, is making a lot of strides under my government. Just today, I took Queen Mare over to Barbuda and Prince for lunch. We went to NOBU, the famous international NOBU restaurant
Yes.
that is operated by Robert De Niro. So, guess what? Barbuda has a NOBU restaurant, Antigua doesn't have one.
Imagine.
And you would have the people from Antigua, people from the neighboring islands, the yachties and so on, who take these charters, these helicopter charters and so on, and go over to NOBU to have lunch. I mean, the ambience is beautiful. As you know, it's one of the most beautiful beaches, the Princess Diana Beach. I mean, it's a natural. It's not a built-out facility with a lot of concrete and steel. Just a simple building, but the food is excellent. I mean, I've had the opportunity to eat at NOBU in New York and London, and the food here, food in Barbuda is comparable. So these are some of the benefits that are taking place. The Barbudans who are working there. There's a Barbudan chef, for example, who was trained to produce NOBU quality foods. And, what the Barbudans need to understand is that, we need these investments to create opportunities for the Barbudan people to create jobs. And not only that, to improve the quality of life of the Barbudan people. I mean, PLH too, I had opportunity to tour PLH briefly. And that project is literally a Jumbi Bay on steroids. I mean, it's going great guns. There's a lot of construction activity. Their back of house currently is accommodating up to 280 staff members. They have over 450 individuals who are benefiting from the project, directly or indirectly, as employees or individuals who are providing services. And as I said, their back of house facilities in terms of the accommodation that they've built out currently stands at about 280 rooms. And by next year, I'm told they're literally scaling up to about 450 rooms because they expect to literally double the pace of construction by next year. I can say, for example, that we already have currently in the pipe, and we just asked the Honorable Attorney General and the Ministry of Legal Affairs to expedite the non-citizen landholding licenses for their customers. They have over $100 million already in sales that are approved, just awaiting the completion of the non-citizen landholding licenses. So I can imagine, that project is going to create a lot of economic opportunities for the people of Antigua and Barbuda. It is easily the largest investment ever to have been undertaken on the shores of Antigua and Barbuda. And our people should embrace that project because of the opportunities that it will create. In fact, the ABST that will be paid from that project when it becomes operational will be sufficient to pay all the council workers on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, without any arrears. And that was always the intention of my government. We have said to them that this idea that everybody in Barbuda must be paid by the government, it's unsustainable. We said to the Barbudans that there's a need to develop a private sector so that the taxes that are collected there will be sufficient to carry the administration. But instead, they wanted a model in which there's no private business. All you have is public administration, and that the funds to pay public administration, all of it should come from the Treasury of Antigua. Well, it's Antigua and Barbuda really is one state, but just trying to emphasize here and that's just not a good model. And I know that we got berated. I know that they demonize many members of the Labour Party, including myself. But at the end of the day, when you stand in the truth, you'll always be successful. And Barbuda is now reaping and Barbudans reaping the benefits of that particular investment. Robert Niro should be having a discussion with me in a couple of days to confirm exactly what he's going to do. I know he plans to start construction of some rooms there for a small boutique hotel, and then subsequently to have a broader project in which he will also have some high-end villas as well. So hopefully we should see some activity there, increased activity there later this year. The airport itself, they have resumed work in the Barbuda airport. They're actually now laying the geomatting on the surface of the airport, and that is to further strengthen the surface and to avert any accidents, as a result of any air pockets and so on that could exist within the surface. So that work is ongoing, and we hope to complete the airport runway, I'd say, by the end of this year, no later than the first quarter of next year. So very shortly, Barbuda will have a 6,108 strip that could accommodate private jets. So you can imagine within the next year what Barbuda is going to look like. I mean, you will have a number of villas, a number of large luxury homes completed, and the opportunities that will be created will be enormous. I'll try and find a few pictures to send Jupiter so he can share with our listeners. But Barbuda is just, growing in leaps and bounds.
Moving on.
Much faster than perhaps any other country within the Oasis sub-region. And again, it's because of the tenacity of my administration. We decided that, rather than fight over the politics, let us promote development in the interest of all. The time will come when we will fight them on the issue of the politics. I have to tell you too, even the golf course, we started to see some green already. In fact, the golf course will turn out to be one of the finest in the Caribbean. I'm told only comparable to one in the Dominican Republic, but it's not easily accessible. So it's going to be an 18-hole golf course, and already the water features they have and all the greenery and so on. It's just amazing what is happening, in Barbuda. And